What's up, YouTube? What up, friends and fam? It's your boy Kenny Lucas without his sunglasses on. New look. I just don't know where they are right now, so I'm rocking the no sunglass look. What up, gang? What up? Anyways, I just want to touch base on something that I just clear as day know it's happening. I'm going to make it happen. I'm doing it. And that is transitioning into turning this Tacoma into a nap station, into something I can sleep in. Mom, if you're watching this, don't worry. I'm not going fucking like homeless route and just living in a van or something. It's like I make money and it's like I decide that I would rather sleep in this overnight and be able to be right there at a quote, you know what I mean, in a stealth nap mobile. And then, you know, when the time comes, all I got to do is get an Airbnb like I have been doing, plus paying rent. So it's like, I like to save money, but even all money aside from this factor that I'm turning this into a camper, a stealth camper at that, it's going to be fucking epic. It's going to be epic. And it's going to create, you know, it's going to take some patience, you know what I'm saying? But all I got is time. And all this Tacoma got is miles to be made. Like, this thing lasts fucking forever. Even the way I drive, you know what I mean? Sometimes I drive like a psycho, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not proud of that at all either. I don't condone that behavior. I don't like it. I don't like how I drive like that, but that's besides the fact. So what I'm doing is turning this Tacoma into a stealth mobile. And the fact that I can sleep in a parking lot, or I can take a nap when I'm tired, which I take a nap almost every day. I had to take a nap today, and I had to go back to the hotel I was staying at to take a nap. You hear what I'm saying? It's just like the time spent. To me, having a nap station in your car or in your truck is almost like packing a lunch. Like, you save so much time. And yeah, it's $5,000 up front, but after that, you're saving so much time. Like, realistically, if you own a business, especially if you own a landscape company, sometimes your time, no matter what, I believe, no matter who you are, no matter what your profession is, no matter what your job is, to the market, you're worth $50 an hour. If you can work at all, you're worth $50 an hour, and I really believe that like 98% of us, no matter the mental problem or mental disability, can work and be worth $50 an hour. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're functional, as long as you can type. Like, look at that guy that can type with his mouth. I don't know his name, but he's written some great books. Like, he's a great author. Like, you can work even though you have disabilities. Sometimes these people with disabilities are the best at what they do in their craft. I think that goes with that guy, because he doesn't have any working limbs. I don't think he can talk at all. He can just talk with his keyboard in his mouth, which is fucking mind-blowing to know that our human mind can do that, as long as we come to grips and believe that we are a miracle made through God. Everything that's God's put in our path. We're born into a certain family. We have a certain mom, a certain dad, a certain brother, a certain cousin, a certain friend, a certain girlfriend, a certain girlfriends, in order to fulfill our God-given destiny, which we are here experiencing. So the times that we get into a complaining state, go get active. Go get active. The times that we start complaining on a daily basis, we get into a psychosis of depression or anxiousness or excitement. Ground yourself and realize what you're doing. Take a look back, step back, get a workout in. First of all, you got to get the workout in. Then put yourself in that bird's eye view and say, what am I really doing here? What am I really doing here? Is this what God wants me to do? Is this God's plan? Or are you just going off what others think of you and say about you, instead of doing what you really want? In the case of mine is this: I want to make this camper van. I'm going to make it happen. I have to be out of where I'm living at anyway, because my lease is up, and me and the landlord got into it. If you're a follower, you kind of know the story. I don't know if I told it in great detail, but I don't even want to go into it anymore. I wish Brian well. I like the guy. I'm praying for him, and it's just all God's plan, you know what I mean? Like, you learn the true identity of people when push comes to shove. People do business differently. I still don't hate him because I see his side of it too. You feel me? I see his side to it too. And I agree with his side, but I agree with mine more because I'm a human being through God, through Jesus Christ, and I made a decision that God told me to say. It's just, it is what it is. It's business. It's nothing personal. But anyways, so I'm converting this truck into a nap station or a livable truck, which is going to have a pull-out drawer, number one. So when I go grocery shopping or whatever, I have that drawer. So I have to order that ASAP. I'm going to get that drawer thing. Probably just going to order it brand new, not because I could save money when buying a used one. Yes, I could, of course. I could definitely save money buying a used one. But here's the thing with that. I get in this rabbit hole of trying to find a used one, and I'm really good at finding a used one. But also, I'm really good at operating a tree company that I just started 2 years ago. So if I don't do the business side of things, if I don't advertise, if I don't answer the phone calls, who is? And then if I'm just so focused on saving $1,000 on a pull-out thing for my truck, no, I have it all fucked up. I'd rather order that shit, pay the extra money out of cash. You know what I mean? I'm like a fucking money machine over here. Whatever. I don't care. I like being a money machine. So I'm going to just get my money machine, send the $1,500 out for the pull-out drawer, and just order it brand new. Do the whole setup how I specifically want. I'm not going to have to convert this into that and pretend I have all this time that I don't. It's not that I don't have the experience trying to put shit together, because I certainly do. I'm a really good operator. You give me what has to be put together, I can put it together. Like, that's the way I just look at shit. And I'm not even gonna say if I can't, because there's nothing I can't put together. I can put anything together. I could disassemble an engine and put it back together. I firmly believe that. With the help of tools, and then with the help of buddies when necessary, when we need 4 hands instead of 2. That's just the mind I'm at. Like, I'm just like an engineer type mind, and it's funny to me because engineering is in my bloodstream. My real grandfather, what's his name? John McCarthy, I think his name is. No. Paul McCarthy. Paul McCarty, I think that's his name, my grandfather. I've met the guy once when I was 4 years old. He's an engineer of some sort. That's all I really know about him. I just know he's an engineer of some sort. He lives in New Hampshire. I don't know if it's full-time or what. It's probably not full-time because my grandfather, my blood grandfather, also has a house in Florida and a house in Arizona. So I am like very similar to this guy, and it blows my mind that I've never met him. It's like like genetics does play a role. Genetics does play a role for what you wind up being, I believe. Unless you go a totally different route, but like, it's funny how genetics play a role. And I've heard the thing that like generations sometimes skip, you know what I mean? Like, skips a generation sometimes. So a lot of kids are kind of like their grandfather, which is beyond me because I've never met the guy. Well, I've actually met the guy one time at my Uncle Sean's funeral when I was 4 years old. And that's, I may have met him twice, but that was the only time I vividly remember. I just remember him, he's like, oh, hey, Kenny, I really don't remember the conversation because back then I was 4 years old. I barely even spoke English. So it was interesting, though. I remember his handlebar mustache, and, I remember he's got some intimidation to him. I was like, this guy's a full-blown man, because I remember my mom also talking about how he used to abuse her and my grandmother. So I've always had this picture of him. He's some scary guy, So naturally, yeah, when I seen him with the handlebar mustache, looking rich as fuck, I was like, oh, man, this guy's a prick. Even at 4 years old. But I wanted to talk to I've always wanted a relationship with the guy. So maybe if you're my cousin or something and you're seeing this and you know Paul McCarty, like, send him this. Like, let's try it that way. You know what I mean? I've actually really wanted to reach out to him. And I don't know if it's James McCarty. That's his name. It's not James. Paul is his brother, I believe. Paul is his brother, and he's also an architect. I did some information, some research on them not too long ago. I'd love to reach out to them and let them know I'm fucking killing it in life, and just see it. You know, who knows? They might need some trees taken down. I'm sure they do. My grandfather, for example, has 4 fucking houses. So yeah, I'm sure he needs a couple trees installed or trimmed. You know what I mean? I'm not no beggar type either, though. I love my family. I love bloodline. I just want to get to know the guy, really, you know, before he does die. The last I heard, he was like, you know, my mom said he had some sort of Alzheimer's or something, but I don't know how true that is, because he's been, you know, my mom doesn't really know him like that anymore. They don't talk like that. Like, I barely even knew his first name. Like, that's how much I know James. But I still got love for him, man, because, like, I hear these stories, or when I research him, I'm like, I'm so similar to him. I'm like an engineered mind person. Like, I'm just, like, always thinking about engineering, and I did not know that. I'll tell you when I discovered I was always thinking about engineering. When I was in Puerto Rico, every day I'd watch an interview with somebody, this or that, you know what I mean? So when everybody, oh, you were on vacation for 2 months, I mean, I was researching for 2 months, man. Like, I didn't stick it out in college. Like, I've always had to put myself through the course. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been passing the test with flying colors too, you know, like, so it's just like, whatever. So I was watching an Elon Musk video, and I did not realize he was an engineer. Like, there's some things that just, like, blow right past me if it's not said out loud. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's natural, but maybe I'm just a dumbass, you know what I mean? But I'm sure I'm not just a dumbass, because, like, everybody learns a different way. But, so he was saying, like, oh yeah, but, you know, really what I'm doing 90% of my time, because the guy was asking him, like, oh, how do you manage this company and do this and do all the accounting, blah, 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 blah. He's like, well, really, I don't know if he said 90% or 99% or whatever, but, like, he's like, I'm doing engineering 90% of the time. Like, all this other stuff has other people do for me. I'm like, damn, dude, this guy's intelligent as fuck. But the thing is, the guy wanted some complex answer, like he's some mastermind and he can fucking fly here with the jet and fly there with a drone and take a Tesla over here. But no, instead he's like, I work really hard and I probably sleep 6 hours a night, and the rest of the 18 hours I'm working, and he's like, I'm generally doing engineering work. I'm like, mind blown. You know what I mean? This guy taught himself how to be an engineer. He also went to a couple schools, Elon Musk did, but he's very self-taught. He taught himself how to code at a young age, which I think that developed PayPal, which, if you guys didn't know, he's the owner of PayPal. He's part owner, at least, so it's pretty cool stuff. And, you know, it just is what it is sometimes. Sometimes, I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to, you know, relate it back to the camper thing. So the camper thing for me is like, you got to do what your mind's telling you to do. You got to do what your mind's telling you to do. At the end of the day, your mind's telling you to do something because God wants to line you up with what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Like, God is always speaking in your mind, but other people are always speaking in your mind too. You know what I mean? You got to separate the good from the bad, the realistic. You know, I'm not trying to tell you to not be realistic. I'm definitely stay realistic with things as far as logically and whatnot. See, that when I was younger, I would fall into that trap a lot where, people know me around here, man. I'm famous. But, I'd fall into the trap of like, oh, like for example, like I'd get so afraid where I wouldn't look over because I was afraid I knew somebody and there was somebody I robbed or something back in the day. When really I didn't really do that much robbing, but that's where my mind goes. So it's just like, do what God's telling you to do. If God's telling you to look over at the person and say hello, you don't know what that's gonna do for. You don't know what I just did for those girls day. Like, it was like an older lady and her daughter. Like, you don't know what I just did. Maybe I brightened their day. Like, oh my God, somebody noticed us in the truck, in Dad's truck. Like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, you just never know what you're doing to people, because it's happened to me on several occasions where I got so down and out. Just a simple hello, like smile, hey, how you doing? Like, when somebody smiled at me, like, it was like, when I was going through it, that's still, some days I'm not like a perfect person either, but like some days I still go through it where like people are like, you know, maybe I isolate for a little bit too longer than I should because I'm working on this or working on that, and it's like, you know, I'm like, where are my friends? You know what I mean? So like when somebody does say hello or what's up, it's like it goes a long way. You don't realize what you're doing here sometimes, and that's why I try to say hello as often as possible. Try to look in the eyes as often as possible, you know, hey, what's up? You know, like when I have the time, I'll mingle with anybody that keeps the vibe, you know what I mean? But if you're not going to keep the vibe, it's just like, I'm not going to sit there and watch you judge me off of me talk about how I'm so excited about building a camper out of my truck. Like, I think that's pretty badass. Like anybody who's that excited and doing so well, like I am, like, maybe you should write out a notepad and take some fucking notes. You know, in all humbleness, really. I'm saying that in all humbleness. Like, some people just need to, like, you know, look at somebody's life and model it. If, you know, if you're not killing it, if you're not absolutely fucking smashing it in life, or at least feeling like you can, or not even like you can, but if you're not on the same page as like smashing it in life, you know, like you're fucking smashing it in life as far as like, if you continually to do what you're doing every day, you're gonna fucking be something, or you're excited to the final outcome of where you're going to, then you're doing it all wrong, man. You're doing it all fucking wrong. And you gotta start listening to that voice in your head. And like I keep saying, wake up early. That's the first step out of all this into enlightenment, is when a man wakes up early before the family in order to prepare, work out, whatever you're doing at that early stage, get in that routine, wake up before the sun rises from 3 to 4 a.m. Back in the day, we used to split wood all day or whatever the fuck else we were doing, preparing for a hunt. So that's why men have that urge. When we wake up in the morning, we have that urge of negativity, like, fuck, dude, like, you know what I mean? I'm just not good enough. Embrace that. That's a good thing to have. You do not want to have the opposite as far as like when you wake up, you're already happy. Fuck that shit. That's for bitches. Like, I've talked to a lot of women about that, like how when I wake up I'm in a bad mood and I need to get myself out of it, but I look at it as a good thing because God's telling me I gotta move. But women, they don't really understand that. I haven't met a woman yet that understands what I said. And what I've concluded is this. I haven't done enough research, it's just personal research, that when a woman wakes up, they're more in a better mood because they're taking care of the family. You know what I mean? They're waking up a little bit later than a man, and a man has to wake up a little bit earlier than the woman to prepare everything for the family, but the woman's waking up with the children, and God made it so that she wakes up in a better mood because she has to instantaneously be able to take care of the kids. Versus the dad, yeah, we take care of the kids too, but not like a mom does. That's why society, I just don't really agree with anybody that really, I'm not like sexist towards women or anything like that. I don't, you know, treat them like a slave or anything like that. But a woman's role is a woman's role and a man's role is a man's role. It's like, they have estrogen and we don't, or they have a lot more estrogen and we don't. And to think that we got to make them be more like us, or we got to be more like them and switch roles, I think it's working fucking backwards. Like, why would you do that when you're naturally gifted at something? Like, why would you just go ahead and be like, oh God, actually we're gonna change the hormones because I feel this way? It's like, if you want that cup of tea, go to another channel, because like, I just don't condone that around here. I'm very accepting too. I'm very an accepting person. But when it comes to changing sex or thinking that a man is supposed to do a woman's job day after day after day, or a woman's supposed to be a man's job day after day after day, there are circumstances, you know what I mean? Like, there is women that, like, you know, I'm getting into a whole different other thing and I didn't mean to do that. But building a camper, and I love my life and I love you guys. I love how you guys comment on every video and hit the smash and share it with your friends and shit like that. Marco, what's up, buddy? Let's get you on the schedule for a duet. And also Phil DeMonte, calling you out, man. I think we should just meet up in person. Fuck the fucking screen sharing shit. And we live, like, I'm in Bellingham right now, bro. Like, we just need to meet up in person. Literally, Phil's one of my best buddies. And I haven't seen him since he was 5'0". Like, last time I seen Phil, he was 5'0". Like, I look at Phil as a little kid still. It's fucking hilarious. But all right, love you guys. Comment down below, share, talk positivity, talk legendary stuff into your friends, into your family. I know when you speak about me, you're speaking about legendary shit because my last name is Lucas. Let's go.